The only successful long-term gardeners are those who also view it as a hobby as well as just getting organic food. Because if you think it's work, after a year or so, it's too much work. Yeah, I always tell people, even though I spend a lot of time at it, I said if I were a golfer, and let's say I golf 2 or 3 times a week, I'd spend up to 16 to 20 hours golfing, and it costs a lot more than it does to rent a community garden. And yet, so what's the problem with the gardening? You know, when you get you get output as well as having fun. I had grown up on a farm, and I still wanted to have a hobby, and that was why gardening was such a fanatical thing for me. My wife says I'm obsessed with it. And living here in Blackburn, we're completely surrounded by greenbelt. And there was the NCC had its allotment gardens. When we moved in here in 1973, we moved into this street. And in 1975, I got an allotment garden just over here, south of the hamlet, with the NCC. And it became like you have a farm in the city. And you could, with the kids, you could walk all through the green belt. You could ski along here. You could go along Mud Creek with them. You could go over here and raise all your food that you wanted. You know, I raise practically every vegetable you grow. So living here was the best thing we ever did. Just by chance we bought this house. But because I'd grown up on a farm, it's like your farm in the city, you know. I grew the regular vegetables. I had corn and carrots and potatoes and lettuce and all those, and beans, the regular ones that you grow. Over the years, I tried peanuts even for the kids, you know. And for 1 year I grew peanuts so they could pick their own peanuts out of the ground. Of course I grew pumpkins when they were young, so we have pumpkins for Halloween, but they take a lot of space. I don't grow them now. And I tried southern peas, which are really a bean, you know. And I've tried I think everything over the years. I have a cold room in the basement, and she freezes stuff, and we preserve things and pickle things, and it's just like we grew up on the farm, and we hardly have to buy any vegetables in the year. I've often looked at the people that garden. Why do they garden, you know, as opposed to golfing or something like that? And one of the things that not everybody grows up gardening, but I'd say 75% of the people that garden, they help their parents garden, and they like it, and it becomes a hobby to them, and you get something out of it. Even though it's a lot of work, you get stuff that you bring home. And I think instinctively into us, we want to grow stuff for ourselves and help preserve ourselves and grow food for ourselves. I think it's part of our natural growing up, you know.